This is a very special meeting of the American Society of Bone and Mineral Research because it's our 40th annual event. And in that spirit, this meeting has been full of many very interesting clinical presentations and basic science presentations. I reviewed the clinical science portion of the meeting, and I'd like to summarize what I covered at that time. One of the very important elements in our field is bringing our young investigators to the meeting. In collaboration with the American Society of Bone and Mineral Research and the Endocrine Fellows Foundation, we were able to bring 75 fellows, half of whom were from other parts of the world, 18 different countries. And this was an event that just preceded the ASBMR meeting. In terms of the actual meeting, there were a number of very important categories that I covered. One was on nutrition. Nutrition, of course, is very important for skeletal health, and there were some interesting abstracts with regard to the microbiome and how this might be related to skeletal health. There were a number of abstracts on epidemiology. Epidemiology related to the FRAX assessment tool. We know very well that the FRAX assessment tool has been extremely important in allowing us to determine the extent to which someone is at risk for an osteoporotic fracture. Several abstracts have refined the FRAX tool to show that you can use it in terms of a time period that is below 10 years and even beyond 10 years, and that is extremely important with regard to the potential further utility of FRAX. Imaging has become very, very important. There are now technologies whereby we can image the skeleton beyond the DEXA test, and that is giving us insight into microstructure of bone. The ability to use some of these instruments like extreme CT and applications of extreme CT with technologies such as trabecular bone score and finite element modeling has allowed us to use some of these advanced imaging technologies to predict fractures and to get greater insights into skeletal health. There are a number of abstracts related to the therapeutics of osteoporosis. Of course, this is a very, very important area. And we are learning more about the drugs that are currently available, as well as drugs that are on the horizon that show great promise for osteoporosis. I was able to review a number of abstracts that relate to the clinical importance of these drugs. There also are some abstracts related to safety, because of course safety comes first, and in terms of the discussion, putting those points in the proper context in relationship to the clear efficacy of these drugs. Finally, this meeting, as was true for last year, there is greater and greater emphasis on rare bone diseases. At this meeting, there were 10 oral abstracts on rare bone diseases. There were 4 special sessions on rare bone diseases. 2 rare bone diseases that were of particular interest include a disease called Hypoparathyroidism, not osteoporosis, but nevertheless a disease of the skeleton, and another disease called XLH, or vitamin D resistant rickets, in which a new treatment is being developed. So all in all, the clinical program is rich, it's comprehensive, and as it was the case last year, we're learning more and more about osteoporosis, its etiology, epidemiology, and therapeutics.